Hello everybody, today I'm going to introduce you to the brand new PavoTube II Cs, which features some very notable upgrades from the original PavoTube. There's a whole list of very comprehensive upgrades that you can find online, so really this video is something I just want to take you through the hit list with, just to be able to talk about what is the right time to be using the PavoTube II Cs, or if you really should be looking at, say, a different product or a different model. Now the 2 Cs come in 3 flavors. The existing 6C, which we've had for a few years now, and now the 15 and 30 Cs that are going to match the previous sizes. Okay, so what upgrades are we talking about here? For me, the most exciting upgrade is the diffusion material inside of the fixture. Now this means that the PavoTube II Cs can now be used as practical lights, meaning lights you actually see in the shot. Previously, you'd see the individual LED diodes, which would expose themselves when lowered in exposure, either by the fixture itself or by your camera. So practically, they were great to illuminate a scene, but they weren't so good being in the shot. And that's kind of the point with these whole lights, is you want them in the shot for the most part, which is why this is quite possibly the biggest or most important upgrade. Professionally speaking, the next important upgrade is the addition of the DMX inputs. Now you can link all of these lights to a full DMX chain for full professional remote lighting control. One important distinction, however, is that these lights do not feature CRMX, and thus they are going to still require a DMX adapter for either a transmitter or hardwire direct to your board. Otherwise, the 2 Cs do feature Bluetooth control, and really that is perhaps the feature that is most important to the target audience. These features are really designed with the owner-operator in mind. So those who want to use tube lights for more high-end professional applications, I think in this case, you're probably better off to go with the PavoTube II X's. The users of these PavoTube II C lights are more likely to be able to own a set or two and operate them using their mobile devices. And in this case, the lights function fantastically. The third most important upgrade is the overall functionality. Gone is the very easy to hit I/O switch in favor of a more discrete switch. The control interface has been cleaned up and the display has been enlarged. Using the dials should now provide you with a much more fluid operation compared to the original. In addition, there is a now pressure click on the dials that's going to allow you to toggle the light off and back on again, remembering the previous value. The lights are now brighter by about 10 and 20% respective to the 15 and 30 C. Now, honestly, that's not much, but it is certainly welcome. In each case, you're really only looking at about 1/8 of a stop improvement, which, listen, depending on your application, may or may not be noticeable. In terms of light quality, the new chipset is an expanded RGB WW, and that's going to mean improved light rendition and control. And the CCT has now been expanded by 1,000 Kelvin points to 7,500. And we finally have a green magenta compensation control, and this is going to help greatly when matching to other fixtures. Finally, from a design perspective, the actual light area has been extended while maintaining the original overall length due to the smaller end caps. So finally, that begs the question, who should consider buying these fixtures? As I mentioned earlier, while they are now up to what I would call professional standards, they still are really perfect in the domain of the smaller indie filmmaker, photographer, or content creator. And the one thing that really just prevents them from finding their way into the upper echelon of uses is simply the end caps, which when assembled all together is going to create a blackout area if you're trying to do a seamless light design. There's one sort of solution to this, which of course is just, as I mentioned earlier, upgrading to the X series of the PavoTube lights, which have an even smaller end cap, half the size of even the new upgraded PavoTube C end caps. But as I'm sure is obvious, it's still an end cap and it's on both sides. So there is going to be a small blackout area even when you upgrade to the X. The X does offer some really important upgrades over this that may be important to consider depending on who you are and the type of work that you do. One is it's a full pixel control light, which means each individual diode is mapped separately, and that's going to allow light designers to be able to create much more specific and interesting and complex lighting designs, as well as the built-in light designs with the X series lights are a little bit more advanced and complex, whereas you just simply can't do it when you have just a simple full LED strip. The other thing is rigging potential. When it comes to rigging, this light is, you can rig it in all sorts of places. It comes with a bracket, transparent bracket, both lights in fact do, that snap sort of anywhere on the body. And you can see we're using that right now in the light that's behind me. In most cases, it's transparent, so you're not gonna be able to see it in the shot. Depending on the exposure and depending how close you are to it, you may see it. And so the ability to mount this light with just having quarter 20s built into the end caps itself means for much more minimalist designs, and even just simply having a flat base on the X allows you to just really stand it up on its own if you need to, which is exactly what I'm doing here. A light that's my fill light right now is an X series light that's really just sitting vertically on a cabinet with no rigging whatsoever. It's fine if there's nobody around or there's no wind. I don't recommend it, but you can do it, whereas with this, you can't. There's no quarter 20 on this, there's no flat end, so putting it down means it's just gonna fall over, and any base to it is going to be slightly bigger and draw attention to itself. So in terms of a sleek design, it's still better probably to have the X. You're gonna pay more for it, but it depends on what your priority is. At the end of the day, 2C is a massive upgrade that allows people to do something that's almost pretty close to what you can now achieve with the X's, but at a much more affordable price. And it's great for those owner-operators, independent filmmakers, and content creators. Fantastic light and a fantastic addition from Nanlite. And that is it for me for today. As always, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to this channel for more videos like this and comment in the comment section below. We'd love to hear what you have to say. And if you're wondering why I'm not in our studio, that is because there are some changes a-coming. And I thought it would be nice to just shoot against a gray backdrop for a change. So keep it locked here to see what's coming up, because some fun stuff is happening. And that's it for me. For now, for today, for me, I'm out. Peace.